to Heal Your Heart, Heal Your Body with Marina Crispy. This is episode 2. Today's topic will be forgiveness. I'm so happy you decided to stop by and hang out with me today. So today we're going to talk about how healing our body and our hearts through forgiveness. Friends, forgiveness of ourselves and of others will allow our hearts to heal and put chronic illness to rest. Now, please don't walk away. Don't change the channel. Hang in there with me as we get through the ugly to see the beauty in it. If you don't know me and you didn't catch my first episode, I am Marina Crispy. I am a life and health coach. Most call me a spiritual messenger because sometimes I get those little nagging downloads from the presence above, God, and I share those with my friends and family. So my practice combines biblical, spiritual, holistic, and traditional medicine all in one. Friends, we know healing is a 3-part transaction: mind, spirit, and body. Most of the time you hear it as mind, body, and spirit. Wrong-o. If you don't have your mind clear or your spirit connected, your body will not follow. Actually, it's impossible for it to follow. Because if your mind isn't in it and your heart doesn't feel it, our body won't follow. So let me do some housekeeping before we get started. The opinions expressed on this podcast are based on my own healing knowledge and experiences. Please keep in mind that I am not a doctor or other health professional, so please consult the appropriate professional before making any changes to your diet, health, or other applicable areas. You should always do what's right for your own personal self. All materials is copyright of Marina Crispy unless otherwise noted. Okay, let's get to work. Are you ready? Probably not. Let's just dance with the notion you are hanging tight. You may change your mind after listening to what I have to share. Forgiveness. Friends, do you know that unforgiveness is now classified in the medical books as a disease? Did you know this? I believe it. Well, Dr. Steven Stediford, Chief of Surgery at the Cancer Center of America, shared this in a column that I was reading. Now, come on. If the video game Fortnite has now been the reason for 200 divorces in America in the past year, then why can't unforgiveness be considered a medical condition? We all suffer from it. We all harbor negative emotions, anger created by unforgiveness. Unforgiveness creates a state of chronic illness in our body like cancer, autoimmune disease, leaky gut. This you may have probably heard a lot about on television, radio, and social media posts most recently. It really is a problem in our bodies. High blood pressure is affected by it. Anxiety and depression are a result of unforgiveness. Friends, in order to heal, we need to forgive. It's so important. When I was on my healing journey 13 plus years ago, I resisted forgiveness. I resisted it so much, I made myself sicker for being so bullheaded. Now, friends, you don't have to say I forgive you and poof, the forgiveness genie pops out of that lamp and grants your wish. It takes work, hard work. Digging deep and forgiving someone or yourself for something you don't feel they deserve forgiveness for. It's not just 3 words, I forgive you. It's a feeling. You feel it in your heart. God has given us grace numerous times in our life. So let's talk about grace. Grace is when we give ourselves or someone else free, unmerited favor. We give them forgiveness even though they don't deserve it. And Mark 11:25 says, whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive them, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you and your trespasses. This one was a big one for me. I had so much to forgive myself for, forgive others for, but I wasn't ready. But when I read this, and I was like, well, if I'm a woman of God, and if I'm a believer in healing, miraculous healing, self-healing, the healing from above, if I don't forgive, then I won't be forgiven. And what is our ultimate goal? To make it to the golden gates, right? We don't want to be running from the flames of fire. we want to hit the golden gates. So I had to forgive. You may still be struggling with forgiving someone who wronged you, or you may be struggling with forgiving yourself. I was there, and I hear you. Once you do, your body and life will change. I understand your resistance. I honestly do. Some of you may be holding on to things that happened 10, 20 plus years ago. You may have been physically or emotionally abused by a parent, a family friend, a coworker, a schoolmate. You could also be harboring some anger, guilt, or unforgiveness for something you may have done or said. I'm going to raise my hand here. I had so much unforgiveness for myself over the years that I think sometimes that held me back more than forgiving those that hurt me. So when we start our process of forgiveness, we have to really dig deep down inside of us and feel all the emotions we felt at the time that the situation took place, or the verbal abuse took place, or the marriage that you were being abused in took place, or being bullied at the workplace or at school. So you may say to me, yeah, how am I supposed to do that? I don't even want any part of them. Some of them we still see on a regular basis. Some of them we don't. But you don't have to confront them. You can. You can have the conversation. Or you can write a letter. You can share with them how it hurt. But folks, when you do that, I just don't want you to write, hey, Mary, you really hurt my feelings when you said this or you did that. Yada, yada, yada. You really have to go back to that age. So if you were 5, if you were 10, if you were 20, go to that age and work up from there. All those feelings that 5-year-old you felt has to go into that letter. All of those feelings that 10-year-old you felt has to go into that letter. Now you don't have to mail it. You don't have to send it to them. You're just getting it out and you're acknowledging it and you're working through what you've been holding on to. Or you can have the conversation. Oh yeah, the dreaded conversation. I've done it. I've walked through it. I've had the conversations. Wasn't easy. But one thing I have learned is that you have to not point fingers and judge them. You have to sort of step into their shoes, but I'm not saying you have to become them or understand it from their point of view. No. What I'm trying to say is if you going pointing fingers, then it's only going to cause confrontation and nothing's going to be resolved. You literally have to go in and state why you felt the way you did or how it made you feel. They may not even know that you're holding on to that. Or if they do know, mark my words, they're already feeling lousy enough about it. So you need to just have the conversation. I know you're saying to me, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Yes, you can. Because just think about the prize at the end. The prize at the end is you feeling so much better, right? Also, another thing you can do, and I love doing this with my clients, is taking the virtual walk with them or yourself. And I had to do this with myself. I held on to so much guilt, anger, frustration, as being a mother, a wife, having somebody take their life alongside of me while I was driving in a vehicle. I had guilt that why didn't I save them? How come I didn't save them? What the hell was I thinking that I didn't save them? Folks, I couldn't save them. It was already done. She's already done it. She had enough. She was at the end of her rope. But I lived with that. And I masked it with eating inappropriately. I masked it with not exercising and taking care of myself. I was not very nice. I was miserable. I didn't laugh. I was just not myself. So not only did I have to forgive her and have that virtual walk with her, I had to have that virtual walk with myself and forgive both of us. I had to. It wasn't easy, but I had to do it. In the end, it's beautiful because in the end, you're going to hug yourself or hug the person and you're going to let them know you forgive them. And then you're going to be done with it. And your soul will dance. Believe me, it will dance because it's not used to being that free, because now you have let go of such big, huge things that happened in your life, monumental things that happened in your life, right? And you've dealt with them and you forgave them and you love them on their way. Doesn't mean that you have to forgive somebody and then accept them back into your life. That doesn't mean that you have to forgive somebody and you're not going to remember what happened. It doesn't mean that. It means that you forgave them enough for you to heal so you can love you more and open your heart again so others can love you as much as you love you. It's an amazing thing. It's beautiful. So you may have been dealing with abuse, of sexual abuse as a child. And I'm only going here not to dig things up for you, but I'm going here because a lot of my clients struggle with this in their healing. When you have walked through that in your life, you are so angry at yourself for allowing it, but it's not your fault. At that age, you can't consent to something like that. And then you're so angry at them because how dare they? And you're absolutely correct. How dare they do that to you? But friends, when you forgive, you will feel amazing. Amazing. But that doesn't mean that you have to love on them again. Nope. Some have. I have seen it where some have actually built relationships with those people again. Walked hand in hand with those people again. Created a relationship like no other. Hats off to them. Because I don't know how I would do it. So once we get to this point in our life and we are clear of all the guilt, the shame, the resentment, the heartache, the anger, the ill feelings that we have towards other people, our body begins to heal. It begins to heal because now we're happy again. So what do? We eat better foods. We eat cleaner. We exercise more because now we have more energy. We don't have all that weight holding us down. It's like walking through sand. It's so hard with your flip-flops on, you know, when you're carrying all your stuff out to the beach and you're flip-flopping through the sand and you're like struggling through it. When you have all of that stuff weighing you down, that's what it's like. Though, when you release it all and you forgive and you open that heart of yours, it's almost like you have somebody carrying it for you. You're in the VIP section now, right? So you have someone that says, ma'am, or sir, I'm going to take your bags for you and you just meet me over there at that umbrella. How perfect is that? That's exactly how your body reacts to it. Your body is now in the VIP section. Your body is now craving healthy foods. It's getting proper rest, proper sleep. It's got more energy. And guess what? If any of you need to lose weight, your weight is going to start to shift. You're going to see it leave. You're going to see it. Inches are going to start going away. Then it's not the miraculous pill that you just forgave and now the weight drops off. That's not how it works. Your body feels so good from not being weighed down by so much stress that it just wants everything good for it. So when you're eating healthy, you're getting proper rest, you're getting exercise, folks, your body will change. Your skin's going to change. You're going to have a brighter look to your face. It could turn back the clock and you could look 10 years younger. It's amazing. I'm 48 and people will say to me, you don't even look 48. Ah, that's wonderful. Thank you. You could be my best friend. But it's not that. It's you did the work. You got rid of the ugly and now you can see the beauty in it all. And now all those things are lessons and you're like, well, why did they choose me to show me a lesson like that? Well, it's a lesson. And guess what? Now when you bump into somebody who's struggling with something that you've already walked through and healed from, you are going to be able to help them heal. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to be your purpose or your mission in life or you're going out to save the world. It means that when somebody confides in you and tells you this happened to them and it's already something that you walk through, you are healed and you are good enough that you're not going to jump in the pity party and you're not going to add more fuel to their miserable feelings. You're actually going to say, I remember when I felt like that, but I did this. I remember when I responded this way. I remember when I reacted this way. And now they're going to see your growth. They're going to want to drink what you're drinking. And the point of this is that now you're able to help someone else heal. And that's the beauty in a lesson. Even though that lesson sucks when we're walking through it, it is the pits. I understand and I get it. But when you're able to lift somebody else up, when you didn't have anybody to lift you up, you feel even better. So forgiveness, my friends, is so huge. So huge. And I love to witness when people are actually healing and they're able to forgive. I love watching their change in their posture. I love the change in their look. Their eyes start to sparkle, the smile on their faces. They return back who they are authentically supposed to be. God doesn't want us unhappy. God doesn't want us living in shame. God doesn't want us living in lack. He wants us to be joyful, happy, prosperous, successful. He wants all the good for us. He doesn't want all the crap that we've been living in for us. He loves us way too much for that. And what we need to do is we need to learn how to love us that much that we're able to share it with somebody else. It's amazing, my friends, amazing. So some of the things that we talked about was write the letter. Remember, you don't have to mail it, but just remember that you have to start from when you were the age that it took place. Don't start from where you are now. If I started with the letter that I wrote at 48 years old, yeah, those feelings are there, but they're nothing like the feelings that took place when I was younger. So go to that place and work up. You may start heading up to the age that you're at today and say, hey, I hung on to that for that long. Did I really hang on to that because that was my story? And that's what I kept retelling myself over and over again, that I was a victim of this or I was a victim of that? Or did I hold on to it because it was that big that it damaged me that much? So you're going to start seeing those things too. Because sometimes, friends, we get so caught up in our story that we never know what it's like to jump out and be us. Have the conversation. The conversation may be with your parents or someone close to you, a spouse, a significant other, a child. Hey, I have been on the other end. I have been the parent hearing my child tell me what he was dealing with was because of this or that happened in his childhood. Did it make me feel good? I did not want to hear that conversation. But I now had to step out of being the parent and hearing the child. It sucked. It's not easy. I have been the child and had the conversation with the parent, which wasn't well received. But it's okay. I've been on both sides of the fence. And you can do it. If you want to heal that bad, you can do it. The virtual walk. The virtual walk is, I find, the most beautiful and the most daunting task. Because now you're walking with this person, either with yourself to forgive you, because I think it's harder for us to forgive ourselves than it is for us to forgive someone else. And sometimes we're carrying on to guilt and anger and frustration that doesn't even belong to us, but we're still carrying it because we think it's our fault. So that journey, that virtual walk, is amazing because at the end you're able to give love and love that person or love yourself back to who you were supposed to be. And then another thing that I absolutely love to do is leave myself love notes. So after we release all of those hurts and grievances that we have inside, we need to fill our love tanks back up. So I am the sticky note queen, and I leave myself messages all over the place. Now, friends, leave yourself love notes. You're awesome. You're beautiful. I'm proud of you. You did it. Anything that you want to remind yourself of, leave sticky notes. Now, my sticky notes drove my husband crazy. He was tired of opening the medicine cabinet, and there was a sticky note. And then everywhere he went, there were sticky notes, even in the refrigerator. So then I started to, and I am a little embarrassed on sharing this, but I started sending myself love notes on my cell phone. I would set alarms to go off periodically throughout the day. And then when I would open the alarm on my phone, it would say what my task is. And my task is, I love you. Or, you're awesome. You're beautiful. Now, how many times moms and dads out there, even grandparents who are helping out the family, you're running all around town picking up Sally from gymnastics, this one from dance, the other one has to be at baseball, basketball, tutor. You're all over town. And you're feeling stressed to the max because you have to get home, do homework, cook dinner, clean up, get everybody ready for bed, back to the grind in the morning. And your alarm goes off and tells you you're awesome. Your whole posture changes. You're like, yeah, I am. I got all of this done and everybody's home safe. I didn't forget anybody at a field or at dance. We're all home safe, right? So you are awesome. Or if you're running to the market or the corner store, market, I call it market. Everybody makes fun of me. Grocery store, supermarket, wherever you get your groceries. And you have your hair in a ponytail, no makeup on, and you're like, oh, I hope I don't run into so-and-so, or I hope I don't run into anybody I know, right? You've all been there. All of a sudden, your alarm goes off and says, you're beautiful. You're like, carrying yourself differently. You're now saying, I am beautiful, with or without makeup. I got this. I don't care if I run into so-and-so. I'm good. Right? So send yourself love notes. And here's a little activity you can do with your kids, which I used to do with my boys, which was a lot of fun. Sticky notes with messages on them. And we've done this. We stick "you're awesome" on a gas pump. We get gas, we drive away, and the person behind rolls up. They get out of their car now and they see this note, "you're awesome." Now they're looking around trying to figure out, is this for me? Who left this? What's going on here? Then you watch their posture change. And they hold themselves differently because now they're believing what they just read. How awesome is that? Or if you're at the grocery store, supermarket, whatever you call it, it's a market to me, and you put it on the freezer door in the freezer section. You're beautiful. And you hide around the corner, because we've done this too, where you hide around the corner and you watch, and you see somebody go to that cabinet, that door, and they open it, and they're like, their whole posture changes again because they're like, somebody just told me I'm beautiful. So leave love notes for somebody else, because guess what? It's a win-win. You feel awesome watching them read it, and their whole day has changed because you do not know what they went through that day. And now you just made a huge change in it because you told them they were awesome, or you told them they were beautiful, or you told them you're proud of them. Whatever's on the love note. So leave the love notes around. So those are my tips on how we start to heal and forgive on the inside in order for us to lessen the inflammation in our body, to keep chronic illness at bay, to reverse chronic illness. It's amazing. Folks, you will not believe how different you feel. And I'm just sharing this because I know the feeling. I've walked the walk. I've talked the talk. I've done it all. It has sucked. It has been beautiful. It has put me in bed for a day and a half crying my eyes out. It has put me in where I have done nothing but smile and laugh. To where I'm walking through a parking garage and the woman at the little booth who gives you your ticket says, "Man, you got some light on you, baby." And it's because you feel that good. because you have let all that garbage that you've been stuffing down in you for so many years go. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, but I'm going to tell you it's worth it. So if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can head over to my website and sign on for my free newsletter, Keep Spirit Alive Love Letters. I send them out on Wednesdays, not on Mondays, because I like to give you that little push over the hump, just telling you how much you're loved and how much you are worth all of this. You can also sign up for a free get to know me session. You can meet me for a virtual cup of coffee at my kitchen table, and you can get to know me, find out what I'm like or who I am, to see if we're fit, if you wanted to work with me or if you just wanted to hang out. Awesome. It's free. Just go in and fill the little form out, put yourself right in my calendar, and then we'll meet for a cup of coffee. But before I leave, I want to leave you with this. 1 Corinthians 1:3. May God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ give you grace and peace today and always. Friends, give yourself grace and the peace will come. Give others grace, whether they deserve it or not, and the peace will come. Allow happiness and love on yourself a little bit more today and every day. Take care, friends. See you next time.